things will never be the same. Because the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Superwise. I'm John, and today is a big day because we are getting the Slate announcement from James Gunn. I'm so happy to be joined by the usuals, Ibby and Arkham. How we doing?
Good.
You really took your time with this one, James.
Yeah, 31st. Man, it's crazy. I cannot wait to see what we're going to get on the slate. I mean, there have been rumors, rumblings all yesterday night, and apparently it's supposed to be dropping like any second now, and apparently it's going to be a video.
At least it's not like
it should be.
Tweet.
It should be interesting. Well, they just dropped it, so all right. And it's my God, this is an article. It's not a video. Wow, man. Okay, all right, here we go. We are gonna pull this up. We are gonna react to this right now. All right, let's read. DC Slate unveiled new Batman, Supergirl movies, a Green Lantern TV show, damn it, and more James Gunn, Peter Safran. The DC Studios bosses shared 10 projects, talked the exit of Henry Cavill and the potential future of Ezra Miller as the Flash, as they introduced the slate of big heroes and lesser-known characters. The stakes are massive for us and for Warner Brothers Discovery.
What's interesting?
Oh man, here we go. Let's get into this. They
have different information on different sources because they probably get different interviews.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, this is crazy. This is crazy. All right,
I'm already seeing some wild stuff.
A new Batman movie without Robert Pattinson, but featuring Bruce Wayne's murderous son.
Damian?
Oh God, those rumors were true.
Damian Wayne.
We're gonna talk about it. A Superman movie on the schedule, 2025, July 11th, 2025. Oh my gosh, a Game of Thrones style drama set on Wonder Woman's home island on Themyscira, and an animated series already into production, Creature Commandos. What the? This is okay.
it was legit. I saw.
Wow.
In the Discord.
Oh my God.
Posted it.
Okay, we're going to talk about this. The pair have been busy in... Wait, where am I? Yeah, okay. That's just part of what will be coming to theaters and TV screens as part of DC Studios bosses James Gunn and Peter Safran's new slate. The pair have been busy in the 3 months since taking over and combining the film and television slate of DC properties, including live action and animation, as well as gaming. They revamped the way the movie and TV sides do business, cutting ties with projects and creators. A writer's room was formed to find an overall story that will launch a unified DC universe. Good. Creators have been approached in a plan, at least part of one for what is being billed as Chapter 1, God and Monsters. Oh man, was formulated in a slate of projects put into development. All right. Now, after ambitiously promising fans that they would have something to show by February 1st, Gunn and Safran have unveiled the first part of their slate. It's a combination of big and known heroes along with lesser known characters who may just become big, like the once obscure heroes of Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy films over at Marvel Studios. The duo shared their plans Monday with reporters in a petite and tidy screening room on the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank. One of our strategies is to take our diamond characters, which is Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and we use them to prop up other characters that people don't know, explained Gunn, and continued to build those lesser-known properties into the diamond properties of tomorrow. Yes, all right.
Thank you.
While plans may yet shift, cautioned the duo, here is the initial slate of Chapter 1 in order they hope it will appear.
I've been seeing this.
Okay, here we go. Creature Commandos.
Okay.
An animated 7-episode series written by Gunn that is already in production. Originally, a team of classic monsters assembled to fight. I'm not going to say that word because I feel like I feel like Nazi.
You're monetized now.
Yeah. This is a modern take on the concept. The voice actors have yet to be cast, but the executives are looking to find people who can voice the animated characters and also portray the live-action versions when the anti-heroes show up in movies and shows. So this animated show is going to tie in to the greater universe.
They're also
Wow,
economics as
wow.
well.
That's crazy. Okay.
I
That's
am
the
not
cool.
familiar with these guys, but it seems right up James Gunn's alley.
that's awesome, man. Oh my God. Wow.
Looks
Okay.
interesting.
It does. It looks like a very interesting, obscure Guardians of the Galaxy like team. And I think that's awesome.
Wasn't there like some kind of DC animated spot? I remember where it was with the Creatures Commandos and it had them in some kind of animation spot.
Not familiar with that, but
What's going on, JG? The slate has dropped.
Man, I just woke up and I'm like, oh shit. It's trying to get this thing.
Bro, okay, so we talked about it. This is the first project, Creature Commandos, animated 7-episode series written by Gunn.
Don't say
Classic,
the N-word.
yeah, classic monsters fighting that word.
Do
that I
not
didn't want to
say that word.
No one's been cast, but this
We'll call them
animated
Germans, how about
show, is going to tie into the movies and live action shows. And Gunn just
Gunn's
released a
video's
video. Gunn has
Good.
released a
Wow.
video. Do we want to see the video or do we want?
I'd rather see the video.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
see the video, folks. Oh man, this is
Okay,
crazy.
normally, since it's DC, I think they'd like strike us, but James Gunn's pretty chill. It's
Okay.
it's James
Wow.
Gunn.
Okay,
He's
we're
gonna
gonna watch this video and then we're gonna go back to the article just to read. Here we go. 5 minutes. Okay.
DC Studios.
Let's strap in. Oh my gosh, this is nuts.
So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And
Yeah.
It's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That
Thank
the
you.
characters are consistent, played by
Absolutely.
the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds outside of
Nice.
the
Okay, that's great. Great
Thank
plan.
you.
Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe.
Okay.
We move into Blue Beetle, a
Okay.
fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then
I said
into
it. I
Aquaman
said Blue
2,
Beetle would be a
which leads
part.
directly
Wow.
to the next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So,
Okay, let's
Peter
hear.
and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter.
This is nuts.
The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice.
That's interesting.
Replace them.
Wow, that's
That is very
Next
cool.
project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller,
Okay.
played by Viola Davis.
So she's
Viola
staying.
Davis is going to team
Okay.
up with members of Team Peacemaker.
It seems like
And
they're
this is a
soft.
story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom
Wow.
Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU.
Okay.
This is called Superman Legacy. This
Ah.
is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
Hell yeah.
Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are
True
space
Detective?
watching over
I
predators.
love the sound of
To
that.
discover
All right,
a
all right,
terrifying
all right.
mystery that
At least we
ties
have
into
both of
our
them
larger
now.
story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a
Really?
passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters. We are
Wow.
now bringing into the DCU
Right up James
and
Gunn's
will
alley.
interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken.
I like
and they wanna
that.
fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the
that's the book.
birthplace of
Okay.
Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones
Paradise
with
Lost is a book
Westeros,
about the devil.
but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant
they're
Morrison's
going with
great
that.
comic book run.
That
Damian
is
Wayne is
awesome.
my favorite Robin.
Whoa.
He's a little
Yes,
assassin
thank you,
who
James.
Batman
Thank
tries
you.
to get in line.
Oh
and
my
so
God.
this is
Oh
the
my
story
God.
of the two
Wow.
of them and the
This is
beginning of sort of
crazy.
the Bat family. In the
Yes.
Yes!
Yes.
Next is a TV
Definitely.
series
Booster
called Booster
Gold.
Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics'
Yes!
really popular
Yes.
cult heroes. He is a fascinating
Oh my
guy.
gosh,
He's a loser
bro.
from the future
James,
who
we love
uses
you.
future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series.
HBO
One
Max
of my
series.
favorite comic book
All
series
right.
from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a
Really?
big science fiction
Good
epic
job,
film.
Tom King.
Now,
Wow.
Superman is a guy who's
Wow.
sent to Earth and raised by loving parents. Where Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to
Swamp Thing, yes.
About a
Let's
very
go.
dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the story.
Great.
Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now.
Oh man, I
I've
want
loved the
more.
DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once in a lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for
His
me
hair
in
looks like
all
the
of these
Fortress of
movies and
Solitude.
TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special.
Different from the
Storytelling is
MCU.
Always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Wow. Okay. That was the slate.
I'm
We are
happy.
impressed.
I'm ecstatic.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
This
getting
is-
the Bat family. Yay.
Wow. Superman Legacy, a great title. We're gonna have to go through all these and just talk about our thoughts.
And Batman, the Brave and the Bold.
And yes,
Okay,
we
so-
see a
It's kinda
Batman part
ironic.
two.
It's kind of a little ironic because that's Tom King's name of his new run as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. He teased it a while ago. And then so we're getting so
The Batman sequel is called The
Okay.
Batman Part 2, and it's October 2025.
okay, yeah, I didn't know if that account was legit, but yeah. Superman Legacy, the Batman Part 2, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, The Brave and the Bold.
2025, we get a Superman movie and a Batman movie
This
in the
is
same
nuts.
year.
Paradise Lost. Was that a show? Or was that a movie? It was.
Both.
What do you mean both?
He said it was when we read it on the I think article, it said it's all you're gonna have animation but also have I think a movie as well.
No, but Paradise Lost in particular, what is that?
I'm not actually it could be animation, it could be TV show. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know why they do it animated. I don't know.
It would be
Batman
cool.
Part 2, man. Wow. 2025. Yeah, 2025 is going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
happy.
I think this is what them going with Damien, that is the thing that like
I think that's good because then you already have established Batman, you already have established Bat family now.
That's what we were talking about. Yeah.
They're not like wasting their time to build up the Bat family. If you have Damian, I mean, you probably have
Nightwing, Red Hood.
Yeah, you
Bat-
probably have Jason. You probably have Tim.
Yeah, this is interesting. So it seems like they're doing a soft reboot, which I'm gonna say I'm not thrilled about. I wish he would have went all the way and full rebooted. Because I'm sort of like, for DC to reach its full potential, full rebooting would have been the way to go. I wish he just cleaned the slate and just made the hard decision. That doesn't mean the slate is not exciting. It's extremely exciting.
Well, honestly, I think this could be a pragmatic move. I mean, they're keeping the stuff people like. I mean, it's not like they're keeping Ezra or Bat.
If Jason does stay as both Aquaman and Lobo, like, I think they can make it work.
Well, also, we don't know if he's Lobo.
Yeah, if he's Lobo.
Yeah,
honestly,
I
wanted
want
to
be so.
Yeah,
I mean, if James Gunn can make this all cohesive, give us build up and payoff, which we know he's good at doing, and he can just really deliver, then DC's track will be corrected and
Right.
it will be great. I want it to reach its full potential. I don't know if going soft reboot is the way to go, but
well, that's strange that he's picking and choosing because he let Henry go.
Yeah, and you just gotta. We're gonna see that all online. This man is gonna get hate. I hate to say it, but he did kind of set himself up for it. He did. If you're gonna pick and choose, you just expect the hate. Expect the hate. Because Henry,
I'm fine with it. Like I was fine with either if it was soft reboot or hard reboot. Like, I wanted to see what he had for plan. So, like, it is what it is. Like, people always get hate.
No, it's not, dude. No, it's
It's
not.
not. It's not trash, man.
It's the opposite of trash. If you've read DC Comics, man's tapping into the awesome and the obscure. It's a perfect mix.
I think we as DC fans have been conditioned to become cynical by the cycle of shit we've been provided with. And I think there are more reasons to be hopeful and optimistic here than there are reasons to be cynical.
Yeah, it does. It literally, it's a perfect mix of what we know and the obscure. I'm probably gonna have to make a video about this on top of it because I have so many thoughts. It's just like,
I mean,
wow,
man. Honestly, I might be more open to the soft reboot if they're having like a canonical reason for it because they said they're using the Flash.
Yeah.
Right. But then they also talk about how we're
Shazam's
gonna have
working into
things
the
be
Flash.
clearly labeled, which kind of prevents brand confusion.
yeah, there's so much dropping in addition to this video and report. Like, Safran and Gunn left the door open for Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and Zachary Levi to continue playing their respective DC superheroes. But Gunn reiterated that Henry Cavill will not return as Superman. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I think Henry Cavill's young. He could have played this character for 10 more years. And I'm incredibly hyped for this reboot. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, man really set himself up. You know, I love you, James. I respect you, James. I'm excited as hell. But the hate, I don't want to say is justified. It's just, it makes sense. It makes sense why people are going to be upset because he didn't put his foot down and truly start over. He's picking and choosing. There's some favoritism. There's some, it's just, I don't know. I'm definitely making a video about this.
I bet he's keeping, I bet my Time to Shine Hello is going to keep ranting about James Gunn's wife.
That's not true, man. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's not true.
Nobody wanted Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my God. That's not true. People love, DC fans love Swamp Thing, Booster Gold. The more obscure stuff, yeah, okay, I guess you could say, but that's what he did for Guardians of the Galaxy. He's going to do for this new stuff. Slate is not trash, man. I think there's massive.
Also, again, I just approached this with an open mind because, you know what? Maybe this will all be shit. Maybe a day will come again where us DC fans will have to deal with infinite bad content and all the normies, all the lay people saying, "Oh, DC is just a ripoff Marvel." Maybe this IP, this universe we love, will never achieve its full potential and its full glory. But that is not this day. Today, we rejoice because today
Yeah,
James
I
Gunn made some hard decisions, and they may be the wrong decisions, but he made the hard decisions. And today we have
yeah,
hope.
yeah. I mean, I'm excited overall. Like this slate, man.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
excited.
I got no clue how to feel about most of this. Not in a bad way. I just don't know. Yeah, that's sort of like me because when you ditch Henry and then you leave the door open for Zachary Levi and Gal Gadot, it's like unless we're doing Crisis or some big event, you know, I have so much to think about. Are they going to reboot Shazam? Like, are they going to keep Zachary or are they going to fully reboot? I don't know.
With
Well, we'll have
Zachary,
to really see what he's doing for Superman, because there is a possibility that what they're doing with Superman completely just does not allow for Henry. Which, if
Yeah.
that's the case, then yes, it's understandable, but we haven't seen what he's doing with Superman. So, is it possible to have Henry there or not? If it's completely not possible, then yes, it's understandable, but then you have to consider, is that a good direction to go in the first place?
Yeah, I really don't know. I have so many thoughts, but the prevailing thought is that I'm hyped as hell, man.
with
Nobody
Zachary
cares for this
Levi,
slate. What are you talking about, man? That's wild.
who?
It's one of the people who commented in the chat.
Oh.
It's like, come on. What do you mean? That's crazy.
I do
Like you
believe
can't please
with
everyone.
I do believe with Zachary Levi, he kind of has that friendship both with James and was it Pierce Saffron? So
Are we talking about Zachary?
yeah, there is a possibility he could be safe because of his friendship with them.
I mean,
Oh, God,
let's
I
just
wish he
hope
wasn't.
this is actually for the best interest of the franchise and the fans, and it's not just nepotism.
Yeah, that too.
Also news. James Gunn says they won't have actors playing more than one role in the DCU. So that means that Momoa will not be Lobo, or he'll stop playing Aquaman and then he'll be Lobo. So I actually like that. I know, in the MCU they did that a couple of times, but I prefer just like have one person play a role, just let it be that. Because if Momoa was Aquaman and Lobo, I would be able right away to tell, okay, Momoa, this is Aquaman in white makeup. Like I would be able to tell. And that would sort of take me out of it, to be honest. So I prefer what they're doing here. Thoughts on that?
I could see that because like if you have kind of an actor that portrayed, I guess, a character, Aquaman for long, you could see like it's still Aquaman but just with white makeup. I could see that point of view.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess you just have to see after the Flash what happens because he says Shazam's going to work into the Flash, then things are going to change. So we just have to see after that.
You were right about Blue Beetle.
I told you. I said he is the future. I think Sholo is such a talented young actor. He's perfect casting for Blue Beetle, and I just, unless the movie's trash, I said to myself, there's no way they get rid of him because he's like he's
honestly,
Blue Beetle.
I
He's
think
important.
what they're doing here is they're using Flash as a Crisis on
reboot.
Infinite Earths type deal, or just all the crises that have gone into the endless DC reboots. But essentially, they're new V52ing it. They're DC rebirthing it. They're taking the elements that worked and doing it in a fresh new continuity, which I guess.
Yeah, Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Superman movie is still a go. Which, I mean, if with this slate, make the movie. I don't even care. More Superman is good Superman. Back when we didn't have Henry Cavill, I was pissed at this reboot. But now that we have a Superman at the very least, okay, fine, make Black Superman, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many thoughts, man. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So, Let's go back to that article because that article may have nuggets of information that Gunn didn't talk about. Wow, and we'll just walk through it. We'll just walk through it. So we did talk about Creature Commandos. Okay, Waller, a spinoff of Gunn's own HBO Max hit series Peacemaker. Viola Davis will return as the ruthless and morally ambiguous head of a government task force. It's being written by Crystal Henry, Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, the creator of the Doom Patrol TV series.
I presume Crystal Henry worked on the series Watchmen and not the Zack Snyder Watchmen.
Yeah, I would assume that too.
I think the TV series. I am excited that they have the creator of Doom Patrol because Doom Patrol is very good. So like,
Yeah.
It is.
Watching the TV series was kind of dull at first, but then it kind of picked up.
Yeah, I didn't like that series, but we do have creatives that at least have a vision, and if they're guided, they can make something great. I loved Peacemaker. Again, I was hoping for a hard reboot, but obviously we're not getting that. So, as a fan, gotta move on. We just gotta move on, and we just have to hope for the best. And I'm perfectly okay with that because the slate is awesome.
yeah.
I just hope it's connected and it's great. Viola Davis is perfect casting as Amanda Waller. We knew that was in development before all this went down. So I'm interested. Thoughts on Waller, guys?
I never get rid of Viola Davis. You always keep her no matter what. So I'm happy.
Yeah, she's Viola Davis. The fact that she didn't get an Oscar nomination the other day kind of pisses me off. If I'm being honest.
I understand what you good.
Yeah, but
I'm excited.
yeah, the thing is, Waller always had an interesting premise to me because it shows that, if in any good game of chess, you got to sacrifice a few pieces and you always have to be morally ambiguous. So it could open the door for some really interesting storytelling in which you can explore interesting ethical dilemmas. Now, the thing is, obviously, we don't know 100% how this is going to work because clearly it's a soft reboot, but
yeah,
I think they might be changing, like, I think it might be able to create a significant enough difference from the existing DC universe to feel as if it's a fresh start, even though it's technically not really. I think what we can honestly use as a good model for what to expect is James Gunn's own Suicide Squad movie. Now, that basically that did not feel like a sequel or continuation of the 2016 Suicide Squad, but it did feel like its own thing, and it just happened to have a few elements from the previous thing. So honestly, I think that's what we can expect. The best indicator is what James Gunn has previously done. Now, also, that movie made only $25 million on opening weekend.
It did not do well.
So hopefully that doesn't mean this is going to be a flop. But we can not. I don't think we need to use it as a financial indicator, but as a creative indicator. I think that's the approach they're taking.
Yeah. Arkham, what do you thoughts on Waller?
Series or a movie?
Series.
Yeah. Okay, then I don't think they'll worry about the money then.
For me, I'm very interested. I'm interested in what kind of story they're gonna take it in because I hope they do that kind of story with Checkmate and everything like that, with the story with Waller and stuff like that. Because you have different Amanda Waller has these different sections. You have Task Force X, you have Checkmate, and you have other stories. So like if they do Checkmate, there's a possibility you can see other heroes within the DC universe as well. Because I know Green Arrow is part of Checkmate with Waller as well.
Right. So and then again, honestly, I think James Gunn is kind of simpatico with what Kevin Feige did. That's why he was pretty much second in command at Marvel, because he took the approach of not directly adapting anything. None of these are going to be direct adaptations like the animated films they've been doing. It's going to be whatchamacallit, it's going to be loosely inspired by, but I don't think they're going to directly adapt things. So I think you'll see elements of Checkmate. I think you'll see elements of Task Force X.
It just won't be a direct adaptation. Yeah, I don't expect that either. Is Blue Beetle the start of the DCU? Because we know that the Flash is resetting everything. So is Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2 the start, or is the Superman movie the start? I'm unsure. From what he said, it kind of sounds like Blue Beetle is the it's in the new DCU, and from what he said about Superman Legacy, it's the true start. So
it seems like everything before Superman was just kind of a transition period.
basically, yeah, old regime stuff. Man, I hope this works, man. I got so many thoughts. JG, thoughts on Waller?
I'm down for it. You know, Amanda Waller always has her hands in something as far as the DC is concerned. So I'm for it. It's a TV series. If it was a movie, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know about that. But series, perfect.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I'm
honestly,
seeing,
that could allow for more sympathy for Amanda Waller because we actually haven't explored much of her. We got a little bit because we saw, obviously, Adebayo was her daughter in Peacemaker, but we
Mhm.
never saw much of her emotional, psychological complexity. So hopefully we can get more of that.
Yeah,
But I
and
don't know if I want that though. I think I just like her as being ambiguous. Like what? Like almost like she's almost ready to off her daughter for a second. So you never know what she's gonna do.
yeah, I think they'll
Right.
keep
So
her
I
ambiguous.
think
I mean,
this
it
is
is
why
here,
she's like
but
that.
yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. That's like the word. And we know like there's so much new info coming out of this. The Waller series is set between Peacemaker seasons 1 and 2. So we are getting Peacemaker season 2. Man, it's gonna be
And
interesting.
honestly, maybe we're upset about the greater continuity, right? The greater DCU. But I think the one thing we can have confidence in is besides the greater continuity, we can have some confidence that each of these individual projects will be of quality. Like maybe we
Yeah.
don't know how Peacemaker season 2 will fit into the larger universe, but we can have some confidence that Peacemaker season 2 is going to be good.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I'm interested as hell because if we soft rebooting that ending of Peacemaker season 1 where he meets where we see the Justice League, that Justice League is apart. Like
Or like
that
team
Justice
members
League
of
is no longer a thing. So it's like is Peacemaker gonna have memory of the old Superman, or are they all gonna forget and a new Superman shows up on the scene? Like I really don't know. There's so many questions.
Technically, they never show like at the ending of Peacemaker, you never saw really of Henry's Superman.
I
And
mean, yeah, but you saw the silhouette. It was implied. Like I don't
Yeah.
think they would play it like, oh, that's a different Superman. No, I think it means it's Henry's
Yeah.
Superman.
yeah,
I think what they're doing is they're really just relying on Andy Muschietti's Flash to reset. And I think Jay was right. Jay's saying Blue Beetle is the start of the new DCU continuity, but Superman Legacy is the start of Chapter 1. That makes sense to me. And
Yeah.
I you know what? I really like that they're calling them chapters instead of
Sounds
their
epic.
presumably
that's like
phases.
comic book chapters.
And
Yeah.
Gods and Monsters. Gods and Monsters. Interesting. That's an interesting title. You know what? I would love if Marvel had like titles for the phases. No, this
Yeah,
is what DC
I mean-
should be doing. They are adopting the Marvel formula just enough, right? But they're doing their own thing to make it distinct and not just a Marvel copycat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I it's interesting, but I think DC does have the upper hand because people are tired of the Marvel formula, and DC is doing what Marvel is not. I think that's the advantage. They have Elseworlds. They will let their directors maintain their vision. So, you know, the DCU movies won't be, from what we're hearing, like the MCU movies where everyone thinks, you know, they're very similar in tone and style and stuff like that. So I'm happy about that directors come first and we're going to get stylistically different projects in the same universe. That's very exciting to me.
And yeah, Marvel is still king of the box office, but there's a challenger to the throne now.
I hope for me, I'm gonna roll with this. But for the general audience, I hope they show up. Like, I hope this means that I hope this new DCU can meet MCU standards. It could be like the MCU in terms of success. So that's what I want for DC. That's why I wanted a full reboot. So we can just start over and audiences can just, you know, have a fresh idea in their minds. But you know, this is where we are. There's no change in it. and I'm gonna roll with it. I just hope the general audience shows up.
And
But
this is just generally how, our free enterprise works. If DC does well, Marvel is going to have to step up their game to compete, and vice versa. If Marvel does well, DC is going to need to step up their game. And guess what? That means we get good comic book content and good content for both of them. So let's hope for both of their sakes that DC does well. Now, James said, like with what he said, he understands that. And Kevin Feige seems to understand that. So it looks like, at long last, we have some people with IQs above room temperature at DC.
Yeah, I mean, Gunn has already proved at the Slate that he knows better than the WB executives, the old regime that were screwing up this property. Like, I can't believe, like, if Gunn didn't step in, if all this didn't happen, what would the DCU look like right now? It would be a mess, a continual mess. And I'm happy that Gunn, who knows build up, who knows payoff, is like bringing that to DC. I just hope it works out. I'm rooting for this reboot so hard. I want it to work, but that's Waller. Let's move on to probably my most anticipated superhero movie ever right now, and that is Superman Legacy. He's my favorite fictional character of all time. Super wise. Where do you think that comes from?
Maybe Super
Why? The movie featuring the Man of Steel that Gunn is writing and may direct, so it's not confirmed he will direct, but I think if he's writing, he's going to direct it. It's his child. It's his baby. I think he'll do that.
And it also seems like if this is really the start of chapter 1, he's going to do it.
I think he'll want to get it right, and he'll want to set what he wants for this universe. Yeah, I think he'll direct. Although no commitments on that end have been made, while the two previous titles are meant to be apparatus, in Safran's words, Superman is the true kickoff for the duo's DCU plans. It's not an origin story. Thank God. I love that. Safran said, it focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way. That is right. He is kindness. He is kindness in a world that thinks that kindness is old-fashioned. I love it, man.
Superman.
They are not
Superman.
I love it. They are not conforming. They are saying Superman is what he stands for, and we're going to appeal to that. I love that. I love that. People who say Superman's boring, this, that, and the other thing, get ready for this reboot because they're going to keep Superman as Superman. I love that. That makes me so happy.
Him morally pure, but also there's a debate because what they said there, his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing, one of the main points of Superman is that fundamentally he is human.
Yeah.
He is a human person deserving of empathy, and he has to if you were an alien, you are presumably the only alien on Earth, and this is part of the best parts of Man of Steel. If you were alien
live action
living on Earth, there would be a lot of conflicts in your life that you would have to deal with, and there's a lot to explore there. So, thank you, James, for having a basic understanding of who Superman is.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm so excited. We have Superman Legacy and the Batman Part 2 in the same year. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? And Fantastic Four? Are you kidding me?
And Avengers.
Of course, yeah. Avengers Kang Dynasty. So 2025, the wallet is gone. It is. Oh my God. The wallet is non-existent.
Let's hope this recession. Who knows if we're in a recession right now? But let's hope whatever is happening with the world economy settles down. So we can all watch these movies.
So that's Superman Legacy. I love the title. Cannot wait.
Where's Superman? Isn't he taking inspiration from Grant Morrison's run? Because I remember he posted something with Superman.
I think he did. And for that tone, that vibe, that's the perfect place you need to take inspiration from.
Wasn't that All-Star Superman?
It was All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
And so that's perfect inspiration right there. So he's doing the homework.
I don't know. The whole premise of All-Star Superman is that he's gonna die. So.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying adapt the story. I'm saying the tone, the vibe, you know, just like what Superman should feel like. That is perfect. That is just, oh man, I'm so hyped. Unbelievably hyped. So let's move on to Lanterns because Oh, because Ibby, you and I went, when he said True Detective. We're going to talk about that. Greg Berlanti's long in the works Green Lanterns TV series has been scrapped, and the duo have parted ways. Okay, I love that. Yes, Greg Berlanti, keep that CW stuff out of there. Perfect. Okay. and Greg Berlanti has made Superman and Lois, so I'm not going to give him too much, of a hard time. I'm just saying that I'm glad that there's no CW-isms in this new universe. I like that.
Those first 2 seasons of Arrow and Flash, corny and cheesy as they may have been, they were enjoyable. But we got to move on.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome news. In its place will be a new take on the space cops with the power ranks. Our vision for this is very much in the vein of True Detective. That you know how I said I want Green Lantern to be a movie. I want it to be a big budget. This one line just absolutely just changed my entire perspective of it. I'm all on board for a long format detective space cop show. That alone has sold me.
That's what the Lanterns are, technically. They're space cops.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Just with
and there are also like other space police departments. Like,
yeah. Oh man.
Sinestro. Would Sinestro be the corrupt police?
I mean,
it's possible.
This could be a.
You could think of that like the Red Lanterns and the Yellow Lanterns are like the corrupt police, I guess.
And Larfleeze, he's got to be corrupt police, right?
Oh man, I think with this show, this is definitely going to be multi-season, and having True Detective as the inspiration, that sold me. So yeah, okay, you're going to need a budget for this.
So much time you can explore the entire Honestly, you could have an entire universe just with the Lanterns and all the different cores. So if you have a show to really explore all the corners of that pocket of the DC universe, yeah, I was also rooting for a movie, but I'm on board. The other thing is that it's both Hal and John.
I love that. I love that. I think everyone on this panel, when we've talked, we said, I would love to see them as a buddy cop thing. I would love to see them both together debut. I wanted
because originally, they made changes. It was gonna be like all the Lanterns and some other thing before they let go Greg Berlanti. Then it was John Stewart. Now it's both of them. Finally.
Yeah, it was good. We've just progressed. It was originally Alan Scott, the first Green Lantern. It was Guy Gardner. Then it was John Stewart, and then now we're here with John Stewart and Hal Jordan, man. And oh my gosh!
You could have supporting characters since it's not called Green Lantern. It's called Lantern. Not only does that imply it's more than just one Green Lantern, it is Hal, it's John. You can have supporting characters with Kyle and Alan and Guy and the cat, whatever his name is, the duck. So you can have so many things, and it doesn't say Green Lanterns. It says Lanterns. You can get and Dexter.
There's something about Henry's Superman that Gunn clarified.
Yeah, we'll get to that near the end. I just want to get through this Slate, man, because what he says about Henry is interesting. We'll get to it, but this plays a really big role in leading the main story we are telling across film and TV. Very interesting.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
War of Light.
It does. What was that?
War of Light.
What?
You remember that story? Is that what it's called? War of Light? Or
Oh, Beware of Light. Is that what you're saying?
War of Light. Something.
War of Light.
Wasn't that a story? Or am I tripping? Yeah, the War of Light is an all-out war fought by the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah, so it was basically all the corps on all of the corps on basically all the different planets and all the different Lantern Corps. They just all fight each other.
Yeah, the thing is with that though, that's a very Green Lantern centric story. Is the end of this chapter 1 that? Would it not be a Justice League movie? Would it not be? You see what I'm trying to say? That's definitely an option that you brought up. I think if you're going to do this in a show, you need a big ass budget. You need to. Exactly. That's why I said make it a movie primarily because of the budget. You need this to look great. This Green Lantern is not a small budget thing. So we'll see how it goes. But Lanterns, That's awesome.
I mean, this is an HBO show, though. If you know what they've been doing with like House of the Dragon or Last of Us, if they have a production budget that high, I think it's very plausible.
Yeah, and Last of Us looks cinematic. It looks very good. And
Dude,
HBO
I
is
cried on
home
that
box
last
office,
episode.
so
I literally cried on that last episode. I didn't want to talk about it.
oh
I was in
man,
tears.
you
I
already
was in
know.
tears.
You already know. Masterpiece. I made a video about it.
It was a very good episode. I really
Oh my
liked it.
gosh. Yeah, just incredible. But HBO stands for home box office. So hopefully they deliver that with Lanterns. And when I see an HBO show, I think cinematic. I think, yeah, this feels like I'm in a theater. I'm watching something. So hopefully that is delivered with Lanterns. Love the title, man. Oh man. So, and Hal and John together, that's awesome. That's what I wanted. So let's go ahead and look at The Authority, a movie based on a team of superheroes with rather extreme methods of protecting the planet that first originated in the 1990s under an influential imprint known as Wildstorm, run by artist and now head of DC Publishing, Jim Lee. One of the things of the DCU is that it's not just a story of heroes and villains, said Gunn. Not every film and TV show is going to be about good and bad guys. Giant things from the sky comes and good guy wins. There are white hats, black hats, and gray hats, added Saffron. They are kind of like Jack Nicholson and A Few Good Men. I didn't know.
Oh my god.
Talk about, they keep referencing like other movies and stuff, and it's like selling me. Well, all right, okay.
These are things I never would have thought of. Like, you know what the inspiration for a Green Lantern should be? True Detective. I would not have thought of that. A Few Good Men.
Wow.
Exactly. I was thinking Man in Black for a while, but True Detective is even better.
Like, I would not have thought of that for a DC thing.
Yeah, it looks like they're taking influence from the right places. They know that you want them on the wall, or at least they believe that. So my thoughts on The Authority, excited for it. I'm excited to discover the gray area. It's not always good and bad. There's a gray area in there. And it's going to be obscure, and hopefully it could be raised to the level of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think this is a very interesting property to do that with. What do you guys think about The Authority?
I'm seeing Guardians of the Galaxy / The Eternals, but done a lot better.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah.
Again,
I mean, when you have directors and creatives being creatives, awesome. I'm sorry, Ibby, what were you saying?
No, you're good. It's the A Few Good Men thing that's interesting.
Yeah, that's what sells me. Like, wow.
Like, they're kind of like Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. Like, you just casually drop that in the middle of a thing.
Yeah, I know. I did not expect it. I did not expect that. Arkham, what do you think about The Authority?
I'm excited. It's interesting. Like that they've been I guess recently establishing the new Superman run. So like that's gonna be cool that they're adapting them.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading something that was very interesting. DC Universe characters will, I mean, we heard this. DC Universe characters will be played by the same actor in animation, live action, and video games. I'm just thinking about that because when we have our new Superman, that means that this man's is gonna voice him in video games and the animated stuff, and I find that incredibly cool. That's what I loved about What If, is that they carry the actors into those roles. So
Does that mean
that's very exciting for me.
Well, that's interesting because that implies we get video games in the same continuity.
Yeah, and they could be like extensions of the movies.
Yeah.
That's actually cool. Like,
what
wow.
about like game? So does that mean like I guess the Wonder Woman game, would that be like I guess whoever voices Wonder Woman in the DCU and they're gonna voice in the video game?
We don't know if that's DCU or if that's Elseworlds because it seems like that was in development way before. We knew about that long before James and Peter came in. So that seems like it's gonna be Elseworlds to me, or it could be part of the DCU.
Which is crazy. That's what I said about Blue Beetle. I said unless there are major DCEU connections, I could see it being in the new DCU. If this Wonder Woman game doesn't like contradict or mess things up with what Gunn is going for, I would assume, he would cast an actress and let her do the game. I think that's a very cool way of doing things. Keeping
But then there's also
when man said connected, he meant connected. So that's what's awesome about it. So that's the Authority. Let's move on to Paradise Lost. It's going to be a TV show.
again, that's a book about the devil.
Yeah, it's described as a Game of Thrones style drama set on an all-female island that is Wonder Woman's birthplace, Themyscira, filled with political intrigue and scheming between power players. It takes place before the events of the Wonder Woman films.
Huh.
Oh man, so that means that Gal is staying? Is that what that means?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
It doesn't say
Wonder Woman
it
movie,
involves
so-
Wonder Woman. I mean,
She's
that's
probably
so weird.
staying as Wonder Woman, just no Patty Jenkins. That's all.
Oh man, I don't love that. I don't love
Yeah,
that.
now I'm kind of want a hard reboot at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still excited. I'm still excited. I just certain things I'm hearing, I'm like, come on, man, really?
No.
Because, I mean, Wonder Woman 84 happened. So
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I like the premise of the Game of Thrones thing and all that, but
If it's
Before
Game of
the
Thrones,
event,
are they gonna go?
they
Game
had
of
just
Thrones
taken that
dark?
last little
Like,
series
are they
out.
gonna
Oh, they're
talk about
fine.
how they have kids?
Could it be a TVMA show like Game of Thrones that really dives into this island? I don't know.
I
I
do
think it's an
believe-
interesting
Y'all,
premise.
y'all know how Themyscirans have kids, right?
What was that?
What?
You know how Themyscirans have kids?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Do you know how they do that?
Oh, you're asking about the process.
No,
No, thank you.
no. That's
Oh, I was
not
about
what
to say.
they're like travelers on boats, and they raid the boats, and so you know what I'm talking about. So that's
I know where you're going
I
with
see
this.
where
Yeah.
you're going.
Yeah, we
that
know where
has
you're going with
been
this.
canon to a few runs. So the thing with that he says about Game of Thrones style is you want to go Game of Thrones style, you got to go Game of Thrones dark. So is this going to explore how like messed up of a society Themyscira would be?
And that's kind of weird because, like, in retrospect, you think about Wonder Woman 1 and Wonder Woman 1984, you're going to look at it in a whole new light. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to. That's why I say reboot, man. Oh, man. Okay.
I don't think 1984 is going to be canon after The Flash anyway. So, like, they might keep Gal, but it's going to be soft reboot certain movies as well.
Yeah, I don't love that they're keeping Gal, but.
The thing is, they're calling it Paradise Lost. And Paradise Lost is a basically, well, I've read it and it's pretty much biblical fan fiction. But basically what it is, it's John Milton's novel. Well, no, it's like a poem and it's like a lot. But basically, it's like reinterpreting the whole Garden of Eden story, and it reinterprets, you know, this mythical biblical story, and then it like shows it in a different light, and it's kind of like blasphemous. But regardless, that makes me think, if that's an intentional connection there, what is it doing that is it taking something that is seen as, you know, good and righteous and prestigious and twisting it into a new light?
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting.
I think it's an interesting premise. I think it's interesting. I just don't love that Gal's attached to it. I mean, at least if Henry. Oh man.
I know the Justice League animated series had like a couple episodes titled Paradise Lost.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman was there, so I'm just I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
50-50 with that one.
Yeah, I think that's a good way. But let's move on to The Brave and the Bold. I love the title. This is the introduction of the DCU Batman, said Gunn, of Bruce Wayne, and also introduces our favorite Robin. I don't know about that, James Gunn, but Damian Wayne, who's a little son of a bitch. The movie. Okay. The movie will take inspiration from the now classic Batman run written by Grant Morrison that introduced Batman to a son he never knew existed, a murderous tween raised by assassins. It's a very strange father and son story, and importantly, will feature a Batman not played by Robert Pattinson. Okay. I'm excited for this. I think the plot of Batman and Damian meeting the son he never knew existed. I think that's going to be very interesting. And we did hear in the video, we're going to have an established Bat family. So Nightwing, Batgirl, Oracle,
Red Hood.
all this stuff. Red Hood, maybe. Yeah, Jason Todd, if they want to already do that.
Maybe I guess you can do other Bat families, like you have Dick Grayson, you have Barbara Gordon, you have Cassandra Cain, you have other characters.
Yeah, and
you'll probably see.
And I read a
quote
down
too.
Batwing, like give me Luke. Give
yeah.
Me
yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I read a quote by Gunn. He basically said that this Bat family has been treated like trash, and he's working very hard to make sure that they are in the light. And I love that. Thank you for giving priority to what needs to be, prioritized.
I love Batman.
Damian gets a lot of attention. He's been reinterpreted so many times, but nobody likes Damian. So
overall, I don't think he's not a favorite Robin.
The premise is so interesting because the premise is so interesting of Batman finding his long lost son. In Arkham, you mentioned that they might have Jason. Well, a lot of Jason stories revolve around the Lazarus Pit and the League of Assassins, then Talia al Ghul. So there's like some interconnectedness there.
Yeah,
so
real expansion.
To do that, they could have Jason be a major part of that story. Also, I find it interesting that they're not calling it Batman, the Brave and the Bold. They're calling it Brave and the Bold. Is this a Bond thing where they do a different title every time? Because I love that. If you had like the Brave and the Bold, and then you had like, I don't know, the World's Greatest Detective or the King.
That'd be cool.
Different subtitles, yeah.
I do understand why they're probably doing Damian, because recently he has been getting better written and getting more popular now, and
they have slowly started to fix him.
And like he's not. I would say he's not my favorite Rob. Like he's gotten better.
Definitely not.
But like I would say how they're writing the character, he's gotten more popular and more people are starting to like the character more.
And then I think it's just not that. I think it's just like the premise that they like. And then also, are they going to have him be juiced up? Like, is he going to be a normal kid or is he going to be on steroids?
I think he's gonna be like a 12-year-old kid. I really think they're gonna lean into the young Damian. And as long as you don't make him annoying, like make them the Joel and Ellie of the DCU, and it'll be okay. That's the perfect way of describing it, right? Damian is Ellie. He can get on Batman's nerves, but he's a cute kid at the same time. Have that balance.
And he's also an assassin trained by the League.
I have something.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, of course.
Years ago, I was in a stream, and I was laughed at when I say, you know what? They should do an established Batman with Damian Wayne as Robin. Nobody wants to see Damian Wayne. I said, mark my words, it's going to happen. So to all you guys that made fun of me, since your monetized, I can't say what I want to say, but you know what I want to say. Now.
I guess you were right.
I can see Damian being like, what's the ex Logan, the girl? The abilities where she can fight stuff like that, but with Ellie's potty mouth. Oh my God, that would be perfect. And just seeing him and Batman getting on Batman's nerves and just, dude, this is gonna be perfect.
Thank you,
I think because Batman,
fun movie.
We all love Batman because despite having no superpowers, he is the ultimate badass.
Yeah.
Imagine he has to deal with an annoying kid. Imagine if Batman had to be a substitute teacher.
It's going to be a different relationship because this is his actual son, as opposed to Dick Grayson more adopted Jason. This is his son, so that dynamic's going to be a lot different.
What was that, Arkham?
The exciting thing about this is we'll probably get probably see Talia al Ghul and the League of Assassins, Ra's al Ghul, the Lazarus Pit, etc.
Yeah, it's going to be a real
corner of the Batman lore that hasn't really been touched. The closest thing we've gotten that in live action is Batman Begins, where all it really was a nice ninja training camp. There wasn't mystical lore to it. So I think this is
I
the
guess,
perfect
like,
opportunity.
I guess I could say the best thing we gotten of, I guess, like, fantastical elements of the League of Assassins. Like, I know not everyone likes it, but probably either Arrow or Gotham, where you have that mystical Lazarus pit, even though it was a hot tub.
Yeah, I think I love, despite Damian not being my favorite Robin, if you write him well, that's good. But I love how this is the start of the DCU Batman, because we're going to be introduced to the Bat family. We will have the Lazarus Pit, and we're going to have all this connection that in future projects, this could be referenced. This could be a part of it. And I love how we're just jumping right into the lore, so we can have it available. I'm so excited for this.
Right, and then the thing is, it contrasts the Batverse, the Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson.
It does,
continuity,
yeah.
Because when we found out Superman is going to be younger, that implied we're also getting a younger Batman, which we all thought, okay, but Robert Pattinson already fills that slot. I like the idea that in a universe in which like superheroes are rising up, Batman is the veteran, the one which people are already familiar with. I like that idea.
Yeah. I like, we were literally talking about this. Best of both worlds. Fantastical DCU and more grounded, gritty Matt Reeves universe. We're getting the best of both. That's like, bro, we're gonna be eating good in 2025. Oh man.
I think the Arkhamverse is what not to mistake it with Arkham, the dude we have on the panel, our friend here, but the Arkham games by Rocksteady, I think that something similar to that could be the sweet spot, because obviously you have fantastical comic booky elements in there, but you can but it still feels pretty grounded. The atmosphere of those games is still dark. So dark.
Oh, you're talking about the Arkham games?
Yeah.
Arkham games.
Yeah. Whenever we talk about those, you're just instantly summoned. Whenever dark and the supernatural are not diametrically opposed. You could have a stupid tone but no supernatural elements. You could have supernatural elements but still have it be dark and gritty. And
that's why the Arkham games are probably so much loved, is they do a mixture of it.
I think it's a happy medium. Like, that is great inspiration for the DCU, because the Arkham Batman is established. He's met his villains already. And I think that's a great just a great inspiration. Fantastical, the tone.
Yeah.
That's something you need to look at. In addition to of course, the Brave and the Bold comic. I mean, this is exciting. I'm so excited for this. And of course, it's going to be interesting to see who they cast as the new Batman. Aaron Taylor Johnson was in the running for Matt Reeves, the Batman. And he's like 32 right now. I'd say, hey, get him. I would love to see him.
The one thing I like, I think with James Gunn is he's taking inspiration from other comics or like writers and stuff like that. Like, he's taking inspiration on, I don't think he's gonna take inspiration the whole story, but with
not direct adaptation.
Direct adaptation, but he's taking inspiration. Like Tom King, he's kind of naming the Supergirl film, I think is based on that comic that Tom King did, and I like that.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it.
How old do you think Batman will be here? Because he will have to be old enough to have a kid.
I would have to say, I have to say late 30s, early 40s.
I say 30, around 35.
I would love for Batman.
I mean, he can't be that young, because like Robert Pattinson is 36.
Yeah,
and he's
playing
like.
I'm just saying, like, not the actor's age. I'm saying like the Batman's age of when he have already established.
Right. So if he's mid-30s, that means it's a tween, right? So if he's a tween, that implies Damian's like 12.
Probably.
So that means he would have had to have been born when Batman was like 24. And that seems a bit too early. So honestly, like a 40 Batman, like 40, I think could be the sweet spot.
Yeah,
40,
get an
45
actor.
in that range.
Get an actor who
Scott
looks
Adkins,
young enough.
get him.
No.
Yes.
No, he
Yes.
can't
Just for
act.
the action alone, I want him.
Get an actor. Get an actor who can also do the action, and we'll be good. We'll be good.
Bad Bunny.
Oh God.
Okay, I could tell you the actual
Yo,
age.
Logan, Logan Paul. Did y'all see what he did in WWE last weekend?
No.
He got on the side of the ring. He jumped into the air and collided with another wrestler in midair. Man.
I don't even
Okay,
want
but
that
he shouldn't
idiot
be
on
Batman.
set. I don't even want him
So,
on set.
you
Yeah.
That's
have a
joke.
question
Do not make Logan
with
Paul Batman.
with
Do not
Batman's
make Logan
age
Paul Batman.
with Damian Wayne. In the actual comics of Batman, he's 24, and Damian is.
What?
Oh my! I don't remember him being that young.
Batman
Oh my
is
God!
24, and when I guess, Damian is 10.
Okay,
In the
all
New
right.
52, when he first establishes as Robin.
Wait, when
Okay.
so Batman would
But
have
that
had to
means
have
he's
Damon at
Batman
14.
like a teenager.
Yeah, he's 20. He's 20. Batman is 24, and Damian was 10 when.
But that's stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
that
say do
doesn't-
it
That's
30s.
in the comics.
Yeah,
do it late 30s, early 40s.
yeah, I agree. Like, don't do it too young to where it's like,
He can't do stunts.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. All I can say is that I'm excited as hell, bro. I'm excited as hell,
Yes.
man. But moving on to the Batman Part 2, Pattinson will continue to portray the Dark Knight in at least one more crime saga movie directed by Matt Reeves. Okay, that is interesting. That movie, the
means-
executives revealed, will be released October 3rd, 2025, and is being titled The Batman Part 2. 2025
means
is
it's
going
the
to be a
last
big
film.
year. Superman and Batman within the same year. It means that the Batman Part 2 could be the end of that Batverse. Because I think
I honestly I wouldn't look too deep into that because it says at least one more crime saga. I think that's just them wording it that way. I don't think they're hinting at anything.
the thing is, how long can you have two Batman running
Exactly.
side by side? Like, I think the Batman is one of my favorite comic book movies ever made. Would I be willing to say the Batman Part 2, let's end it there and let's just focus on the DCU Batman? I don't know, but then again, we're going to have the Black Superman movie and the main Superman movie. So it's like there's a lot going on, and maybe we could share the room.
I know
We'll
we're all
see.
worried about the normies, right? The normies getting confused, but the normies can differentiate all the people in BTS, and no way in hell I can do that. So I think with clear branding and like clear labeling, and if it's well done enough, people won't confuse them. When Andrew and Toby showed up in No Way Home, Spider-Man was so big that nobody was confused by that. I mean, maybe my sister was, but she was the only one. Nobody else was confused by that, right? People understood that these are different continuities. So I think if Batman becomes big enough and is able to break into the pop cultural zeitgeist again, more so than he is currently, which don't get me wrong, everybody already knows Batman, but if they know the specific ins and outs of it, if DC is popular enough, I think you can have two Batman, especially if you differentiate them enough.
And when you said differentiate, something popped in my brain. The intro for these DC movies is either going to be DC Studios or DC Elseworlds. That is the indication for the general audience right there.
Yeah.
It's going to be made clear at the beginning of the movie. I forgot about that. I think,
And
okay.
a new intro too.
Yeah, we're going to have new intros for both. So I think that, yeah, I'm excited to see those. I can't wait to see the DC intro that actually delivers on all the characters that are featured in the intro. Because the DCU intro was just a big lie.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to get an actual real intro. But that's the Batman Part 2. Excited for it. Love the first one and two. Batman and Superman in the same year.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, honestly, it's interesting that it's going for an October release because The first Batman feels like an October movie. It
It
starts
was going to
early,
be October at one point, and then it
Yeah.
got pushed to March because of the pandemic stuff. So
right. So I think October is right for that. But then also there was a small part of me that wanted Batman 2 to be a Christmas movie.
I understand that.
Yeah,
Don't
I sort of
get me
like
wrong,
those
I was
thematic
feeling
movies,
it.
yeah.
What if it was a Christmas movie? But no, that was just a stupid idea I have. October is what makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
I
if
can understand that though.
I wouldn't mind if, like, say the Batman was like the Batman 2 is based in Christmas or something like that. Like, I'm not saying it's going to. I would be okay if it was a Christmas movie. Like, that would be
But
cool.
October makes the most logical sense.
Yeah.
It does. It does. So that's the Batman sequel. That's awesome. Booster Gold, man. An HBO Max series based on a unique and lower tiered hero created in 1986. Safran's set of the series. It's about a loser from the future who uses basic future technology to come back to today and pretend to be a superhero. That's exactly the character.
Yeah,
Gunn described it as imposter syndrome as a superhero. I think this is going to be incredibly unique. I've been asking for Booster Gold for the longest time. Yes, I am so down for this. And as an HBO Max series, it makes sense. I'm all for this. What are you guys' thoughts about Booster Gold?
You know, maybe we should have an order for this.
Yeah.
Let's just work down the panel.
Okay.
All right. So who's that?
That's you.
Oh, okay. So basically, I forgot how math works. I forgot how left to right works. Anyway, so basically, Booster Gold, what James Gunn has shown he is capable of doing is taking characters with silly premises and making them emotionally vulnerable and have some kind of emotional depth that creates an interesting internal conflict, right? So Booster Gold inherently is a silly dude. He makes quips. He is honestly pretty close to that Marvel slapstick kind of humor.
Yeah.
But he has this awesome emotional complexity of, again, that imposter syndrome. I think James Gunn nailed it when hit the nail on the head when he described it as that, because that's exactly what he is. He's really just there's nothing about him, his capabilities, his powers that make him special. And yet, obviously, since he's from the future, he would be treated as such in today's world. If somebody from 2022, some average Joe, if one of us came from 2023 and went back to 1923, and we had smartphones, we had, I don't know, Rubik's cubes, we had all this new technology, we had computers, we had a MacBook. Then again, I don't know how you use internet with a MacBook in 1923, but regardless, if you had modern technology and modern knowledge, then you would be treated high up, but you would know you're not worthy of it. So that can be really interesting.
Yeah, a really interesting exploration. Chris Pratt is Booster Gold, yes or no?
Yes.
Booster Gold? Yes.
Sure.
JG?
Why not?
I didn't realize me. Yes, I'm for it.
Yeah, I like it. I think I like it. We can leave it at that.
James and Chris Pratt are buddies. So
I guarantee he said this already. Yeah, he said this already. The Guardians of the Galaxy cast are going to be making their way to the DCU in some shape or form. Chris Pratt as these characters, it could work. So we'll see. But Arkham, thoughts on Booster Gold?
I'm excited. Like, I've always wanted I've always wanted something like Booster Gold. I think he's a very interesting character. Like, you see him in the animations and stuff like that, and I think you see one live action debut in Smallville. I think he's a very interesting character to have his own TV series, and I'm up for it. He's from the future. He's very cocky and everything like that, and messes around with the time stream.
He's gonna be a fan favorite when he debuts. Definitely,
Yeah.
He's gonna be a fan favorite. JG?
I think they need to try to get Matthew Vaughn on this pronto. I really see Booster Gold as like a kick-ass kind of character, but just cocky.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that tone. Yeah, you're right.
and get Aaron Taylor if he wants to do it. Hey, if not Chris Pratt, because he's already done Kick Ass, he's similar kind of characters in a way. I say go for it. You're right. This could be the fan favorite, kind of like I look, James Gunn. Thank you so much for the slate. We've been talking about, hey, bring other characters. It's too much Superman saturation. There was a Batman saturation. Bring Booster Gold. Bring these other characters. You're doing it, and it's a series as well. Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be special. It's going to be special.
Yeah, it is a soft reboot. I know. I'm not particularly thrilled with it, but I'm going to roll with it, and we'll see how it goes. Gunn has already proven with this slate that he has more of a level head than the old regime. So
Yeah.
So I'll trust in him until he gives me a reason not to.
Yeah. Like,
And when he's talking in that video, I'm like, yeah, dude, you know what you're doing. So that's Booster Gold. Awesome. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Taking its cues from the recent Tom King written miniseries, this movie project promises to have a different take than what most think of when the idea of Superman's cousin comes into mind. We will see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, raised on a rock, a chip off of Krypton, and who watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life and then come to Earth. She is much more hardcore and not the Supergirl we're used to. That's interesting. It seems like they're really going to they're going to make Supergirl a little darker, a little hardcore. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. I don't think Sasha Calle is going to play this Supergirl. I think if we're getting a new Superman, we're going to get a new Supergirl. That's what I think.
I totally agree.
People have this weird thing online, like Sasha Calle. She's amazing. She's going to be great as like Supergirl. We haven't seen an ounce of footage. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like
if she is good, cool. But like, if we're getting this movie, recast definitely. If we're not getting, because with the suit already, it tells you she's linked to Henry Cavill's Superman. So
yeah, like I would say this:
recast,
the suit looks cool. The suit looks cool. I guess in the Flash, but like I agree with you. I don't think. I think they're gonna recast Supergirl, and it sounds like a cool and different take on the Supergirl character that they're going to take.
Yeah, and again, it being connected, this new Superman meeting this new Supergirl, it's going to be something on screen. It's going to be really, really cool.
Yes,
the novelty of what the MCU once was, we're going to face here. Basically, we're gonna have that excitement again about these crossovers, where we're kind of tired of it with the MCU. So I think that's pretty exciting. What are you guys' thoughts on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow?
I mean, yeah, it's what's interesting to me is that, yeah, they're taking a different approach, but it makes it so it's not the exact same as Superman. It's creating a contrast between the two, and that's going to be really interesting when they eventually probably interact. I mean, if you don't have Superman and Supergirl interact at some point, I don't know how stupid you can be with that. But basically, if you have someone who comes from the same circumstances but also has had it so much worse, infinitely worse. Clark, okay, look, out of all the places Kal-El could have landed, he landed in Kansas and got adopted by these two farmers. Like, that's pretty lucky. He could have landed anywhere on Earth. Anywhere. He could have landed straight into a volcano. He could have landed into, like, Chicago or Detroit, and he would get stepped on there. But he could have landed anywhere. He could have landed in the middle of a forest. He could have landed in the middle of a rural country in poverty. But he landed where he could have been loved and where he was allowed to be human, to have a human upbringing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very different origin, and they're really going to be distinct. I think that's very cool. Arkham, what do you think about this?
Oh, I like for which one?
Supergirl.
Oh, Supergirl. I'm excited. I like it. I like how they're taking inspirations from other comic books and making, like, not exactly like the story, but turn in something unique for this film, and that's what I'm so excited. Like, I really liked Tom King's Supergirl run, so like, I'm totally excited and down for this.
Yeah, I think the concepts and the ideas are interesting, and then when you write a movie level script with it, it could be something really, really cool, man. I'm so rooting for this. JG, what do you think about Supergirl?
I could care less at first until I saw Tom King's name there.
Yeah,
And when I see Tom King's name, okay, let's do it. I don't know if anybody's read that Tom King Woman of Tomorrow book.
Oh, I did.
But
I read it.
I read
It's
it.
amazing.
It is fascinating.
I liked it a
I
lot.
love the take on it.
The last comic book I read was Detective Comics number 27.
You showed me the cover for that. That was good. I like that cover. I
Yeah.
gotta read that. But
So
yeah, I
Tom
think
King, Eisner Award winner. Hey, this. I mean, like I said, Gunn he's mixing what needs to be done and what he likes to get done,
and it's a
bringing this
great
slate together,
balance.
and it's perfect, great balance.
Yeah.
Too.
So that's Supergirl. We were getting all these rumors and rumblings online, and I'm so happy that we got projects that weren't quote unquote leaked. Like, this is very, very cool. But the final film is Swamp Thing, a horror film, not a TV show, that promises to close out the first part of the first chapter. I love Swamp Thing. He is so important and so he's in a lot of the DC lore. He appears with other Justice League members and stuff like that. And Swamp Thing getting his due in a film that could be really unique. It's a horror film that could appeal to the horror fans out there. I think it's going to be different. It's going to be unique. I am all on board for Swamp Thing. What do you guys think about Swamp Thing?
I'm totally excited for Swamp Thing. I think he's a very cool character, and making a film of him, I think is gonna be very interesting, because I remember we got that Swamp Thing TV series that like got canceled and we never saw it, so it's gonna be awesome to see him back, I guess, on the big screen as
Yeah,
a
man.
character.
I'm so excited for Swamp Thing. Ibby, what are your thoughts?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely a way of saying it. JG, what are you excited for Swamp Thing, man?
I'm very excited. I'm hoping they can bring James Wan back to do what he initially
Yeah.
wanted to do with it. I thought he would have done a great job with it. I'm all about the horror, so hey, let's do it. I'm down.
Yeah, James Wan, I think, would be a perfect fit for that. Perfect fit.
Do you think James Wan will come back? Because I know he's leaving after, I guess, Aquaman.
I think if you threw another property at him, a different property, he would be on board for it. I think Swamp Thing is like the thing for him. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, because he was like, I guess he was the producer of Swamp
on that show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and it
I
was
think
amazing.
I've yet to see that show, but I will see the show and prep for this movie. I definitely need Swamp Thing content now that I'm
Yeah, you can't find it on HBO Max.
Yeah, it's like non-existent. They canceled it after the first episode. That was pretty wild. But Swamp Thing, man, that is, oh man, that is awesome.
That's the epitome of what James Gunn. I'm gonna start providing more thoughts than yes. It's the epitome of what James Gunn likes. If you ask the layperson who Batman is, they'll be like, yeah, I know who Batman is. He has the powers of a bat. They'd be wrong, but they, generally speaking, know who Batman is. Nobody knows who Swamp Thing is, other than us nerds. And yet,
James Gunn has the power to elevate,
He can take this niche thing and make it something compelling. And that is James Gunn's specialty from what we've seen of him.
Yeah. Oh man, Swamp Thing, man, I'm excited. So let's move on to the last part of this article. Before audiences get to those films and series, however, there is a matter of this year's crop movies, starting with Shazam: Fury of the Gods and continuing with The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The duo are high on the quartet, made by the previous film regime and under the aegis of DC Films, run by.
I've never seen that word in my entire life.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I'm fascinated now. Aegis, run by former head Walter Hamada. Gunn calls The Flash probably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. Coming from Gunn, well, all right. I hope Ezra doesn't stay. I don't want to harp on that, but like kick out Ezra. We need a recast.
We don't talk about Ezra.
Yeah, I don't care how good Ezra is in the movie.
So I guess
Recast.
Fury of Gods is not like gonna be good.
I was one exactly like his face. Is
Like if he's saying the Flash, like I'm not like if the Flash is a very good movie, I'll like take him from his word. But the other movies, I guess, aren't very good. That's coming from like sounding like it, like oh.
Well, no,
Fury of Gods not gonna be good.
they're just using the most interesting quotes to write an article. He probably didn't say much, but this just adds on to the fact that we've heard so many good things about the Flash, and I'm convinced that it's going to be a great movie. I think Andy Muschietti has put together something special.
Yeah, we're getting that trailer in like 2 weeks.
I have been so optimistic here. People have been calling the Slate trash, and I've been defending it. If they keep Ezra, fuck them.
Yeah. That will.
Yes, I might
ruin
not
a lot of it for me.
I might not be okay with the idea. Like if some people stay, it is what it is. But I really liked what he has planned and a lot of the projects. Like I know we were all hoping for a full reboot, but I'm okay with a soft reboot. I think Gunn knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled, but I'm okay for now. If Gunn can prove that the soft reboot is the way to go, prove me wrong. Prove that this could be, great and we can get it to its full potential. It needs to work, because if this reboot doesn't work, just stick to standalone movies. Just like it's over. If you fumble it again, just forget about it.
Because they've been putting all their eggs in this basket. This is.
But I don't believe Ezra will come back. Like
I don't think he will either. If you're gonna get rid of Henry Cavill,
we don't know for the production of these movies. We don't know where Ezra will be. They might be in Hawaii. They might be in Alaska. They might be on the inside of a jail. We don't know.
Yeah, he can't be the Flash if he's in jail, to be honest.
Or they could just shoot it like Flash gets in prison with his dad.
Oh boy. So we're getting that trailer in 2 weeks. That should be very interesting.
Yeah.
So let's move on. He also said that the 4 leads of those films could potentially continue playing their leading roles in DCU projects down the line. There is nothing that prohibits that from happening, except Ezra's insanity. What are you talking about?
Okay. To play devil's advocate here, I don't think they're going to talk about Ezra until the movie comes out, and then like a couple months later, they'll say Ezra was dropped for scheduling conflicts. They don't want the PR disaster of saying, yeah, Ezra's getting dumped.
Yeah, I think
I could understand that kind of point of view, because first you want the movie to come out, then you release, I guess, a statement saying, oh, he's no longer going to be playing the Flash.
They don't want like, okay, hey everyone, you know this interesting movie coming up called, like, I don't know, random example, The Batman Part 2. Robert Pattinson's not going to be playing Batman anymore, so yeah.
That would kill
It
her.
doesn't matter what Robert Pattinson does. Doesn't matter what he does. But still, that's not a good move, because people are not going to get invested in it because PR, right? It's just not good.
You wouldn't say that until the movie's out, and the movie's like, after it's got guys profit, everything, box office, and it's not in theaters anymore, then you release a statement, he's no longer the Flash. Because if you say that now, not a lot of people are going to see the movie then.
Yeah, thing is, what I would want is that you recast every Justice League member. Flash, Aquaman, recast all of them. And then if you want to keep Blue Beetle, if you want to keep Shazam, which I'm like not... Like the kid is getting old, a little too old to be Billy Batson, but we'll see how that goes. If you want to keep those, that's cool. But recast the main Justice League members, because if you have like a new Superman with Ezra's Flash, I don't love that idea. Just recast everyone. Recast the main Justice League members, and then keep your Peacemaker, keep your whatever and stuff like that. That's what I think. But don't keep Ezra, bro. I get why he's saying this at this moment, but means something else at the end of the day, James Gunn. Like if you get rid of Henry Cavill but not Ezra, bro.
Like if 2 months after the Flash, if in August of this year if by the end of August of this year we do not hear that Ezra has been dropped, I'm going to assume that means Ezra has not been dropped, and I will be on the news. I can't say why, but I will be there.
I won't say why, but
James and I, we will be there. I cannot say why, but I will.
So the duo discussed their approach to casting, whether it was returning or new actors. The TV series will look to cast actors who will also play the parts on the big screen. That makes sense. Just as John Cena played the violent figure Peacemaker in Gunn Suicide Squad and in the Peacemaker series. Anyone cast as Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in Lanterns, for example, then will cross over into films. Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Oh boy, we're going to get into Cavill stuff. All right, here we go. And they took on the touchy subject of Henry Cavill, tipped to return as Superman thanks for a cameo in last year's Black Adam, but who in the end will not return as Superman, much to the chagrin of a vocal fan base. We didn't fire Henry. Henry was never cast, said Gunn. For me, it's about who do I want to cast as Superman and who do the filmmakers we want to cast. And for me, for this story, it isn't Henry. He added, I like Henry. I think he's a great guy. I think he's getting dicked around by a lot of people, including the former regime at this company. The fact that he said this, respect, James Gunn. Thank you for acknowledging this. But this Superman is not Henry for a number of reasons. Okay, I miss Henry. I would have loved for him to stay, but I'm super excited for the Superman reboot. We know that there's going to be a younger Superman, cub reporter. He's already established no origin story. I get for this movie, it's not a Henry story. I get it. And it's really all dependent on who they cast as the next Superman. You know, get a versatile actor who, you know, Henry's a good actor. Get a great actor. Get someone just great. I don't know how else to put it. Just get an actor worthy of the role, basically. Let's say, and go for an unknown. Go for an unknown. Every live action movie, Superman has been an unknown. That formula never fails. Go with an unknown. Do not go with a big name. That's what I say. Right. Okay. There's Shazam duo. Okay. Though the duo no, I'm not diving into that. Though the duo are working in one DC universe, some stories will stand apart. Reeves' Batman movies and Todd Phillips' sequel to The Joker will fall under the banner of DC Elseworlds, which will, just in the comics, fall outside the larger continuity of the DCU. The Black Superman project, being written by Ta-Nehisi Coates under the previous regime, remains in active development and would also fall under that category. Teen Titans Go, the popular and long-running cartoon series on Cartoon Network, also falls under that banner. That's interesting.
Elseworlds, and even if the Black Superman project's trash, it's like you have
still have a main Superman. Yeah.
That was
my problem.
You have the Batman and the Joker, and those will be those will overshadow the Black Superman.
And you know what? Elseworlds is smart, because if you're going to do Crisis, or a big chapter level ending event, you're going to want some Elseworlds character to cross over. You can't just bring back, Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. You have to expand with Elseworlds, and I like how they're doing that. So I'm very excited for Elseworlds stuff. The duo are putting a premium on screenplay writing. The duo are putting a premium on screenplay writing, saying that would prevent the dreaded feeling of superhero fatigue and also give the projects a tonal and thematic difference from each other. Gunn called out the degradation of screenwriters in Hollywood, and also said that the duo wanted to be respectful of the voice of filmmakers they're working with, up to a point. It's not the Gunverse. You know what that's referencing, right? The Snyderverse. It's not the Gunverse. It's not that Gunn King Gunn. Thank you. It's got to be all these different feels from all these different stories. That's what makes them so fun. The stories are completely different, and each have the individual expression of the writers and the director that are making those projects. We're not stupid. Not every filmmaker is going to be happy, but if someone is doing something that isn't working, we're going to be honest. Yes, being transparent, being open. This is the leader we need. Everything he's saying is amazing. And I love, and like we said earlier, the MCU does not have what DC has. DC has Elseworlds. They will let their filmmakers do visually, stylistically different things, tonal different things. And that's what we need to prevent superhero fatigue, because people are tired of the MCU. I have a little burnout myself while I'm still excited for some MCU projects. So this is great. This is great to hear. A lot of people are thinking this is Marvel 2.0. It's not. I believe him. Zaslav had a vision in mind of a standalone studio that would have everything DC centralized. Zaslav also has the right mindset with wanting the DC universe to be at its full potential, to be better than it was at the old regime. And that was the appeal for us, coming in and having access to any character, any story, and to tell the stories we wanted to tell across mediums. The history of DC is pretty messed up. Yeah, it is. No one was minding the mint. They were giving away IP like they were party favors. And then any creator who smiled at him, bro, Gunn is speaking facts, bro. He knows what's up.
He's not holding back.
Wow. That's what I love about James Gunn. He's open and he's transparent, bro. Wow. I have an incredibly deep connection to these characters, to these stories, and to wanting to create that type of magic, not only in the kid that I was, but in the connection that I had with my father, my friends, and later on, and wanting to create a unified world in DC where we tell stories. In the end, both Gunn and Safran know not only what is at stake, but also the enormous opportunity being presented to them. For Safran, it's the chance to impact and change the culture, be it the company culture of how it approaches storytelling to the broader pop culture. Gunn lit up with giddiness at the pure magic of it all. This is not only a once in a lifetime opportunity, it's a once opportunity. It's me now. No one has ever gotten to do this before, and how can I say no to that? Whew, what a hell of an article.
Wow. Yeah, but I know they just reviewed Superman Lois's having 2 more seasons now.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about that, other than I love Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. We're going to have a Superman reboot soon. And while we wait, we can have Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. I like that. But yeah, it's going to be canceled eventually. And we all knew this who were paying attention. So, that's sort of...
I actually thought was going to be canceled we're at season 3.
Yeah, I thought I thought the same. I thought like Doom Patrol, like Titans, they were going to cancel it, but they're going to let it go on. And I think that's smart, as I said, to hold us over. And Tyler's a great Superman. And when the time comes for Crisis or stuff like that, he can come back and laying the seeds, building up. It's really great. So that's the slate. I think that's all I have to say about it. Wrap up with some final thoughts here. I'm definitely, like, after I end the stream, I'm straight to making the video just to repeat everything I said because it's so big. But my overall thoughts on this slate, I'm not thrilled. It's not a hard reboot, but the slate is exciting as hell. And I hope and I trust in James Gunn to really deliver with the universe being connected. I mean, what he's saying is amazing. And I'm rooting for this universe. Absolutely. The slate is trash. Give me a break. I don't want to hear that. That's just cap. That's ridiculous. He has a perfect balance of what people like, what people, didn't like in the old regime, and they're rebooting and they're fixing that. And then obscure characters that he will elevate, like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think the future is extremely bright, man. And I am so excited. So as we wrap up with final thoughts, I'll say, like, what was your favorite project that you heard about in this slate? For me, it would have to be Batman and Damian or Brave and the Bold. I'm excited for Superman Legacy, but we did already hear about that. Batman and Brave and the Bold, man, we talked about it in depth. It's an exciting prospect. Bat Family, that alone is exciting. Lanterns, True Detective, that got me on board. Swamp Thing just existing, that's exciting. Booster Gold, exciting. I'm not thrilled about certain actors staying, but I'm optimistic. I'm an optimistic guy. I'm going to wait and see how it works. But this slate is incredible, man. This slate is, I didn't even think about streaming it, and this is like the most stream worthy a stream has ever been. Like this is the future of DC, and man, I'm ready. I am ready. So let's work down the panel. What are your overall final thoughts on this slate, and what was your most hyped announcement out of this? Starting with Ibby.
So absolutely, my hyped announcement. I gotta agree with you. It's the world's finest. It's Batman and Superman. Because it's not just the fact that we're getting them. It's one, the premises that they're exploring, and two, the rhetoric that James and Peter are talking about. They are demonstrating an understanding of the DC universe. They're understanding an understanding of these characters, and they're exploring new like ventures with them, new avenues in ways that we haven't seen before, that are fresh but familiar, that are still faithful to the characters, but can ultimately tell compelling stories. Now, Batman and Superman are the two favorites, so obviously those are the ones I'm most excited for. Honestly, the one I'm most excited for is the Batman Part 2, because
well, like of course,
too much. But that's not really news. The news here is not the individual projects. It's the individual projects that are creating a tapestry of things. We are getting unique premises like Waller, like Booster Gold, like what they're doing with Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. They're exploring interesting ideas, and ultimately, all comic books are cinema, occasionally. They have the potential to be.
Yeah.
When Scorsese talked about how these things are theme parks, he wasn't saying that as a bad thing. He was just acknowledging the distinction between the existence of cinema and the existence of theme park media. Comic book media has the potential to be both. The distinction exists, but it's not mutually exclusive. James Gunn has a track record of proving it. Peter Safran has a track record of proving it. Yeah. And I think more than ever before in the history of DC, again, we have been conditioned to be cynical here. We have been brainwashed to never be happy with what we're getting, because all this time we've been done dirty, honestly. Yeah. I'd rather have the problem of being let down as a DC fan than, like starving to death. But this is a problem that we have. This is an issue that we face. And as fans, we wanted to see the best for this universe, for this IP that we have loved, that has existed for 100 years and has the most rich history and most compelling characters out of any franchise, up there with its contemporaries, Marvel, Star Wars, you name it. Finally, we have hope.
Yeah, and I would be cynical if James Gunn was not running the show. James Gunn is running the show, and he's proven that he knows build up, he knows payoff. He's a comic fan. This is good. This is what we need. This is what we didn't have before. So I am more inclined to believe that it will definitely work out better than what we had before, because I genuinely don't know how we were going to survive with that old DCU. I mean, wow, we are lucky. We are lucky to have James Gunn. He's so open, he's so transparent, he's a fan, and I have my reservations, but I'm optimistic, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. It's a wait and see situation, but I'm excited. JG, what did you think about today's presentation?
Finally, we have a plan, and a balanced plan of that. The project that should be films are going to be films. Projects that should be series are going to be series. I think I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it's very intriguing. Besides the already established films like Batman 2, which I'm very excited for. Blue Beetle, I'm excited for, because it could do to the DC what Iron Man did to the MCU starting out. Yeah. It could have the same effect if done right.
That is the first DCU movie, so yeah.
Yes, it could literally do to DC what Iron Man did to the MCU. Swamp Thing, I'm very intrigued by, because it's its own story. You can do so much with. It's horror, right up my alley. Booster Gold could be the Peacemaker, the next Peacemaker.
Could be.
Just sneak in and just be one of the best DC series out there. I'm just excited. Brave and the Bold, I'm excited for. Just, of course, you have to wait, see who's going to be casted. But Damian
Yeah.
Wayne, hey, to all the haters that made fun of me, you know what to do.
This is the celebration stream. This is great, man.
And I swear, somebody in Hollywood is listening to our strings. A lot of what Young Gunn is doing are things that we talked about they could do.
Yeah.
You look at the Lanterns, the buddy cop thing, True Detective style. Oh my God!
Sign me up, bro.
I am ready. Let's go. And he had a lot of like the Authority and stuff like that. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it works.
Hey, JG.
I'm open to the obscure. That's what's exciting to me.
Yes.
To see something different, something new that could potentially be the next big thing. The Authority could be that. I don't know. We'll see. But like we said, there's a nice balance of everything here. Perfect would be full rebooting, but this is where we are. I'm gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it, and we're gonna see how it goes. But
JG, you know who James Gunn should hire to direct a movie?
Who?
Ryan Coogler.
Oh boy,
No
what did you do?
No shame,
What did you do?
No shame. I try to talk to him, you know what I'm saying, but creative differences, you know what I'm saying. I went to a Black Superman project, you know what I'm saying, but Michael B. Jordan, we're kind of beefing right now, you know what I'm saying. I keep it Oakland, you know what I'm saying.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, only on Disney Plus, February 1st. Arkham, what'd you think about this overall?
I really liked it. My favorite parts were that Brave and the Bold and Superman Legacy. I'm excited for the Lanterns. I'm excited for like a lot of them. I'm interested on what they're gonna do with the authorities and everything like that. They're very obscure characters. Like they you don't hear them much a lot, but you only heard them in the War Saga with Superman. I know you read that.
Yeah.
Where they were introduced and to do that. But I really liked it. Like I'm excited that the Bat family's gonna be
already finally. Oh my
God.
I love Batman stories where it's standalone, but I think a lot of people are getting sick of not having the Bat family in live action on the big screen.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that you're gonna have that you're jumping to Damian. And I have no problem with them jumping to Damian. You already will have established Nightwing, Red Hood. You already have I don't know if Barbara's gonna be back or Oracle. Nevertheless, you're gonna have like established Bat family that's exciting.
Yeah, agreed, man. This slate was it's definitely exciting, and we'll just have to see how it works out. Thanks everyone for joining. We're gonna wrap it up here. If you want to work down the panel, tell people where they can find you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will never upload. No, but hopefully I've genuinely been working. Like today I got school off today, so I'm gonna be grinding. And if you'd like to see me, honestly, the easiest place to find me is on this YouTube channel. That's where I'm on. But hopefully, depends on my level of motivation, but hopefully you shall be seeing some interesting things coming up in the next thing on the Cinema Nerd YouTube channel. If John is a good friend, he'll link it.
I will, yeah. I think everyone's in the description except JG, because I didn't know if JG was going to join, but he did, and it worked out perfectly. So, JG, where can people find you?
You can find me on the Great Superwises panel, of course. The great Anzo, I've been on his doing some streams with him.
Yeah, I did see you
as
on
of late.
Awesome.
It's fun. Gives me a lot of practice. I ordered a new laptop yesterday, so when that gets here, the fun begins.
All right, yeah. All right.
You can also find me at my home address. That's going to be...
Arkham, where can people find you?
You can find me at Arkham Unlimited. I will be probably uploading some stuff with Lazarus Planet. That's That's been amazing. So
Yeah, it's
I
good. I read. I think I have. I forget the third issue of it or the third title of it, but I read
Did
the first.
you get Monkey Prince?
I did not.
That connects to it as well.
Yeah, I saw that in the book. I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to read that now. So yeah, I mean, with this news, I'm gonna be grinding DC hardcore, man. That it's very exciting, and you know, I'll be uploading a video talking about all this because I have like I'm pretty sure I got all my thoughts out there, but like I just need to continue talking about it because it's just so exciting. But thanks everyone for joining. That was the stream. I appreciate all the comments. And the future is bright. The future is very bright. So thanks, guys. I'll see you next time and stay super wise.